put in all this hard work. Like I got a great score. I did the thing. I got the grant. And then great. Now I have some time to kind of develop my ideas a little bit more, have a 6-year runway to kind of think about what's the next step of my career. And then, as we are going to kind of get into later, now all of a sudden there's this new arbitrary process where what people said about my grant and study section no longer matters, and it's kind of being specifically targeted. So as you're kind of alluding to, my issue is the process here. Like, I guess we can debate about the science in the conferences or in the hallways or whatever, but I think that this has really real implications for like my life and like what even are we going to be doing with this type of work if people are being unequally targeted.
So 2 things before I get back to the clip. Number one is you, Michael, mentioned the process. And I think that is so important because we are not always right about everything. You, me, our friends, even the people who we would consider adversaries or critics, no one's right all the time. And what differentiates, I think, science from good science from bad science is that process issue. The saying, we're going to commit to a process and we're not going to to the extent that we can, we're not going to let our bias or our prior beliefs change how we do the process. And I've talked about this many times in Inside Medicine where I've looked into things and I thought I was going to find something. And you know what? I didn't. And so I had 2 choices. I could say, hey, didn't find it. It's not there. It's not happening. Or I can't detect it. Or I could change my process and try to get the answer I like. And obviously, I'm not going to do that second one, but there are many people who are willing to do that. And so I think if we don't commit to the process, if our side doesn't do that, we're just as bad, even though we might be quote unquote right more often, we're really at risk of becoming incorrect. The second thing I'm going to say is, and I mentioned this a moment ago when I talked about you being in a vulnerable part of your career as an early career scientist, is that the reason you're here is that you did something brave, which is to say, not only am I going to speak out about this, I'm actually going to confront the director of the NIH, the person with the most power in the system that you are trying to contribute to. And I just want to say, first of all, good job. Thank you for doing that. Not many people would do that. But I also want the viewers to like just express, the appreciation there. I'm looking at the chat window and I'm seeing the likes and the comments and we appreciate that. So please show that respect and admiration that we all need to have for you taking this risk.